Hey guys, welcome back to How to Train Your Gavin. I am doing the most disappointing reads that I read in 2019. I'm not doing a worst of 2019 video because there aren't that many books that I have those kind of feelings for. There's only really one, and I've included it in this list. So you will see that one in a second. I was just going through the list of all the books I read in 2019 and I realised there were just like a lot of average books and not any that I would say were the worst, bar one. So it's just going to be a disappointing reads, and there are some that I still gave good ratings for, but I was just extremely disappointed with how they turned out because either of my high expectations of them or just the general idea that I went into this book thinking I'd like it and I didn't like it as much. And yeah, yeah, you guys get the gist. I'm not the first person to make this kind of video and I certainly won't be the last. So I'm going to get straight into it. The first book I'm going to talk about is the one that I mentioned before, and that is the worst book that I read in 2019. And I was hoping that I would like this one. There have been so many good things said about this one. Unfortunately as well, I finished this one on my birthday, so what a really shit way to spend my birthday, by the way. But that is The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. I'm going to get so much hate for this because I have seen nothing but good stuff about this book. But oh my god, this is the most cliched book I have ever read since What If It's Us by Becky Albertalli and Adam Silvera. And that is a book I hate. This one, I just really strongly dislike, and it is the worst book that I read in 2019. So we have two characters, Tiffy and Leon, is it? Yeah, Tiffy and Leon. For some reason, I was thinking of Final Fantasy characters. I was like, have I got this mixed up with Final Fantasy? But Tiffy and Leon, they are flat sharing. So Tiffy has a flat during the night because she works during the day, and Leon works during the night, so he has a flat during the day. And it's a really good little setup. I really enjoyed the premise, and it's one of the reasons why I thought I would like this book. I just thought I would get like so many cute feels and stuff like this, but I cannot get over how cliched this is and how these characters have zero chemistry together whatsoever. Like seriously, there is, right, sorry, this is probably a bit of a spoiler because they're not apparently supposed to meet. I mean, come on, you can't have a romance without them meeting, can you? I've never read a book where they haven't met and still fall in love. I don't know. Obviously, this is what happens. When they meet though, oh my god, like the entire premise goes out the window. It's just, you can tell how forced it is. This drama that happens in this that is just so forced. There's a particular scene at the seaside where I rolled my eyes so hard. I'm like, oh my god, how contrived can this storyline be? Yeah, so Tiffy's chapters are told like the traditional sense. It's told in like first person. It's all fine. And then we get to Leon's chapters, and again it's first person, but his mind is more list-like. So his sections are like, we did this, we did that. He said this, she said that, kind of thing like that. And it was very jarring for me. I thought it was a bit clever to begin with, but by the end of it, it just felt emotionless. It felt like these characters were way more two-dimensional than I wanted. And oh my god, so there was potential of a really good storyline in this with the main female character, okay, with her ex-boyfriend, and there was so much potential with that storyline, but I thought it was handled so poorly because the author made the ex-boyfriend to be such a caricature of this like pantomime villain, and it just felt so unreal. It felt fake, and it took away what could have been a very important message. And I just really didn't like this book. I got really close to torching this one as well. I remember now. Yeah, that's right. I almost got a lighter and lit the fucker up. Sorry about this because I know a lot of people do enjoy this one, but not that I have anything against straight romance. Most of the stuff that I read has straight romance in it, but this one was probably one of the worst that I've ever read. Another book that I'm really disappointed with was These Rebel Waves by Sarah Rash. I have nothing to say about this book. The next disappointing read, okay, I do like this book, I do like it. But the next disappointing one is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I do like this book. I thought it was, you know, I like the writing style. It's very easy going and I felt it was pretty fast paced. I kind of got to the end before I realised it. But the reason I'm so disappointed with this one is because I predicted who did it in the first like 3 pages. Like, I knew straight away. I watched too much CSI, probably. I could have been wrong, but I was so sure that I was right, and I was proved right at the end. Like, I am right about it. I was just disappointed the fact that this is supposed to be a sort of mystery YA thriller kind of thing, and I knew exactly who did it within the first few pages. It's so obvious. It is so obvious. I am really disappointed with the fact that I predicted it. You know, that's probably my fault. I probably shouldn't watch as much procedural crime dramas as I do. Well, did. It just makes it so predictable, and I read this thinking that it would be such a surprising mystery, you know, it was right up my street. But unfortunately it wasn't. But I still enjoyed it. I like the characters. I've read all of Karen M. McManus's books so far as well, including the sequel to this, One of Us is Next, which I do kind of prefer over this one as well. But yeah, I think if it had been a bit more unpredictable, I would have enjoyed it more. But good characters, just really predictable mystery. The next one is The Mermaid by Christina Henry. This one I read in a day. It is really quick and easy to read, and I gave it an average 3-star rating, I think. What I didn't like is the fact that this was my first Christina Henry book, and I was expecting something a bit more twisted, a bit more scary, but instead I got this really boring Greatest Showman without the music. Okay, it's not like that at all. So we do have P.T. Barnum. Wait, did I describe? Oh, I didn't say what One of Us' line is about, but you guys already know, right? The Mermaid is a bit of a P.T. Barnum kind of retelling. He comes across a real mermaid and puts her in his show. And genuinely, not a lot happens in this one. Even though I did read it in a day and it was fast, I just felt like I was trailing around and just waiting for something to happen. There was one kind of creepy-ish moment with somebody who kept coming to the show and just like watching from the corner and stuff like that. Other than that, this is so unmemorable. Not a good first Christina Henry book for me to have read. It kind of made me not want to pick up any of the others, even though I already own them. I do want to read the other ones. Like, I think the other ones will be so much better. A lot of people do say that, you know, they are really good. But this one was such a letdown. I was expecting something a lot more twisted. So I will say this, if anybody hasn't read this one, still read it if you want to. Just don't expect it to be as twisted as her other books, or twisted at all. Like, this isn't scary, this isn't twisted. It's just a story. Unfortunately, I had to pick this one up first, didn't I? The next one I did like, but again, disappointing, was A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Camara. And yeah, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. We have a girl who's pulled away from Washington DC in the current day to this sort of medieval kind of fantasy setting. You know, the Beauty and the Beast kind of retelling things being done to death. So I did go in this with only average expectations, and it met those expectations, and I think that's why I'm disappointed. I was hoping this would stand out from other sort of Beauty and the Beast retellings and just make its own story, and I don't feel like it did until about like the last 100 pages of the book, and by then I was like enjoying it a lot more, but up until that point I just wasn't feeling it. I found it rather tedious because I was kind of expecting things to happen and it would happen. Again, it's that whole Stockholm Syndrome kind of falling in love thing that I don't really enjoy that much, so I didn't really understand the romance in this at all. And I liked the main character enough. She was alright. I love the fact that she had cerebral palsy, but it was never really mentioned that much. And she just, I don't know, like, this could have been such a great learning tool for people who don't understand what cerebral palsy is. But I love books that have disability rep but kind of teach me at the same time. And I know this is a fantasy and it shouldn't have that kind of pressure on it to teach me anything about cerebral palsy, but if you're going to have a main character who has it, then please show me what it is like to be somebody with that kind of disability, because I just didn't feel it in this one. I just wanted to see more of what that was like for the main character and how she was living with it and how she was dealing with it, and it just, I didn't really get that. I just felt like it was put in there just to make it different. I mean, maybe I totally interpreted that wrong, but it's what it felt like to me. A lot of times I thought the narrator was talking down to the reader. A lot of times it would repeat what has just happened as if we'd like somehow missed it. You know, like, well, that's stupid that we have to remember what happened at the very end of the last chapter kind of thing. Yeah, I found that to be a bit of a pain in the ass. Yeah, I read A Heart So Fierce and Broken and I liked it slightly better than this one. But yeah, this was one that was really hyped and a lot of people read it for the owls, and I read it for the owls as well, but I didn't like it as much as everybody else did, and I'm sorry for that. I really am. Okay, this next disappointing read really breaks my heart. And I did mention this in my December wrap-up that I lost all the footage for, so you'll never get to see it. That is The Toll by Neil Shusterman. Oh my god, like, it breaks my heart even now. Like, I love Neil Shusterman's writing, and I love the Arc of a Scythe series. Scythe and Thunderhead are two of my favourite books. But The Toll, I saw what people were saying about this before I read it, how disappointed other people were, and how it was the worst in the series, and all this, that, and the other. And I was prepared to fight people on that, because I started reading this and I was like, this is really good, I'm enjoying this. Like, even the slow pacedness of like the first 150 pages, it kind of went faster than I thought it would, because a lot of people made it seem like nothing happened, but in fact, like, some things did happen. I was, like, prepared to tell people, like, you're wrong on your opinion on the toll, it's great, it's the best thing ever. But then I got to the halfway point, and then I got to the end, and I was like, I'm so disappointed. This isn't what I wanted from this book. So yeah, this is the last in the Ark of a Side series, so there was a lot riding on it. I should also mention this is set in a world where we conquer death. Sorry, like, I didn't give you a synopsis of this. I'm shit at the whole booktube thing. Anyway, so yeah, I got to the end. Like, I am always, in 2019, disappointed with series endings, whether it's of a book series or a TV series. I've just been disappointed with them this year. They just haven't been, well, they just never lived up to the hype or my expectations of them. And maybe in a few years, if I reread this series, I will like this one more. But right now, all I'm saying is that I didn't get the characters. They just felt like they were, like, the plot was, like, too big for them kind of thing. And at the end of it, none of them felt useful, if you know what I mean. Like, all the urgency that was in the first two books was kind of eliminated from these characters in this one. And everything was kind of like a fate kind of thing. I'm probably not making sense here. It just felt like the characters were useless. And that's not what I wanted from this, because I love the characters. I didn't really get resolution. I didn't get the face-to-face kind of confrontations that I was really hoping for. You know, after 2-3 books in this series, I was hoping for some kind of big confrontation kind of thing. And while we do get this epic finale kind of thing happening, there wasn't that face-to-face thing that I wanted, and I'm so disappointed in that. I'm so gutted about that. Yeah, it wasn't up to standard, in my opinion. I'm sure there are a lot of people out there who love this, and you know what? If I didn't love the first two books as well, I'm sure I would have loved it as well. But, and if there was another book coming after this, I would probably have really enjoyed this one more than I did. But knowing this is the end, nah. All I can say is I'm heartbroken. Like, really, really heartbroken. But it's not, like, bad. I still gave it 4 stars. It is good. I'm just disappointed. Please excuse me while I just sit and mourn for a second. I'm in mourning right now. I'm still grieving this world. I want more from this world. That's the thing. I still want more. I want more. And I'm not getting more, but I want more. And finally, the most disappointing book that I read in 2019, which now surprises me, because when I read it at the time, I was enjoying it, and I even did, like, a whole vlog dedicated to it kind of thing. And that is The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. This surprises me because when I first finished reading it, I was like, oh, this is good. You know, just not as good as The Handmaid's Tale, but it was still good. Time has not been kind to this, or my opinion on this, because wow, how disappointing and how absolutely terribly written this one is. Okay, so context, I love The Handmaid's Tale. I gave that one 5 stars. I thought it was brilliant. It was so scary, and The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood is a dystopian. It is set in a world where women are oppressed in this society called Gilead, and a lot of women are forced to be handmaids to wealthy families who can't conceive, but the handmaids can. And it's fucked up, and it's really terrifying. This goddamn book ruins everything in The Handmaid's Tale. I'm not gonna lie. This is my opinion on it, so I'm sorry if you disagree. Like, honestly, I don't mind. Like, I love a discussion, you know. Let's discuss this. This one ruins the first book so freaking much. This one takes away all of the kind of urgency, and I say that word a lot, all the urgency and how terrifying it is to be part of Gilead, and it just makes it seem so weak. And I guess that's like a testament to Margaret Atwood's writing style, like, now in this day and age. Like, I loved her older stuff. Now, oh my god, what garbage. This is the most predictable thing I've ever read. And I read One of Us is Lying, remember? This was, oh my god, like, how convenient this book is. And it's just stupid. Like, how can these certain things happen? Oh my god, you have to read this so we can talk about it further. I never do spoilers. I don't do spoilers. How can this happen? How can this happen? This is so predictable. Like, what? Like, what are words anymore? In each chapter, you can guess where this story is going. I was gonna call it stupid there. And, like, just, I don't like being negative, and I still gave this one an average rating. I think 3 stars. I might lower it to 2, because, like, oh my god, how disappointing. This was, how could this be so predictable? Oh my god. Right, if you read this and you have strong feelings about this and you disagree, like, send me a message. I so want to talk about this book. In detail, because how can you say this is well written? Like, I genuinely don't know. Like, I'm sorry. Like, Margaret Atwood is a fantastic writer. I will give her that. I went to see her live, literally, after reading this, and I still loved her talk. She is a really fascinating writer. But oh my god, how did she write this garbage? How did she write this garbage? What? Like, I would never want to read this again. Ever. I'm just kind of keeping it for... Why am I keeping this? For completionist sake, I guess. I never read a sequel that's ruined the first one as much as this one did. The first one should have just been left alone. Like, this world should have been left alone. Oh, everything has just crumbled in this book. Just my expectations of this were just... The only saving grace of this was I did enjoy one character's perspective in this. I won't say who the character is, but there was one character perspective that I enjoyed in this one. Out of 3. Other 2... Oh, so predictable. So predictable. Sorry. So yeah, this was trash, and I was expecting so much more from Margaret Atwood. Didn't get it. Ruined Handmaid's Tale. Ruined Gilead. Just really disappointing. And I'm sorry if you enjoyed it, I really am, but garbage. So those were the disappointing reads of 2019. I'm really sorry I got a bit flustered at the end there. It kind of brings up some bad memories when I talk about a book that I didn't enjoy, or a book that, you know, really has left me heartbroken, you know. So, but anyway, thank you so much for watching my video. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave it a like if you did. Do chat to me down below. I am so open for discussion. I will welcome all opinions. I am not that kind of person who will shut someone down just for having a different opinion. I so love the conversation. And please respect my opinion. I'll respect yours. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.